Welcome to Intellicide, where we try to find out who murdered intelligence. I'm Anthony Gentry, and my co-host is Kyle Pominville. Welcome.
Welcome.
How are you today?
Fantastic, but I'll get better.
All right. Well, our discussion topics today are Thor, Love and Thunder, and Stranger Things Season 4.
Spoiler alert.
Yes, if you haven't seen either one, I would recommend you put us on pause and then you go watch those things and come back. And, before we forget, please like and subscribe.
Yes. So your initial thoughts, Thor, Love and Thunder, 1 out of 5. What stars would you give it?
1.5, 2.
Really? You didn't like it?
Not at all. Not at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, I didn't like it. I didn't care for it.
Okay.
What about you?
I loved it. I thought it was great. Personally, I give it probably 4.5 stars.
So what did you like about it?
There's a lot of things I liked about it. I liked that it was a good mix of humor and seriousness that never felt like it cheapened the seriousness. Like the whole Gore character. I thought, even though among all the jokes and everything, I still thought he was a good, creepy character with an actual motive. No,
I agree with that. I do.
But then, some of the things about the movie that I liked that were just the silliest thing, like the goats, screaming goats. They were awesome. I loved them every time they were on screen. I love that they gave them a part in the battle.
Well, it was a good way of incorporating the mythology of Thor,
right,
with the two goats.
Exactly.
I did appreciate that. Me, on the other hand, the humor is what basically spoils it for me. Thor, and what's the director's name again? How do you pronounce it?
Taika Waititi.
Okay, Taika Waititi.
Yeah.
So I think he's taken Thor, the character of Thor, in the wrong direction. And if you look at the movies that he's been in, I don't mind levity and I don't mind the humor per se. Like when Thor was in what was it, Avengers Infinity War, and he was introduced to the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
I had no problem with the humor, because it was more like, him being an Asgardian, he doesn't know normal, people interaction. So I appreciate that kind of humor. But over the last few Thor movies, and I think the turning point was Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, really? I love that movie.
Well, I liked it somewhat. The thing that I didn't like was when he was strapped in the chair and he starts, the what's his name? Jeff Goldblum's character, the Game Master.
Yeah.
So when he's sitting in a chair and he's seeing the holographic images and he starts screaming, you're Thor. So right. And that's where I think the character has changed in his own films. So in this movie, I like Anthony Hopkins' line in Thor Ragnarok when he says, "Are you the god of hammers?" Like, I'm like, no, now he's the god of buffoonery. That's how I see Thor now.
I don't know. I mean, they've definitely given him more personality than he had. He has more personality now than he had in the comic books, personally, and I love him.
But I'm not even going back to the comic books. If you go back to the comic books, the character is totally different.
Totally different.
Yeah. But I'm talking about the first. So I got the number of films that he's been in the MCU: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 9 films. And I would say at least 7 of them totally serious character. I mean, again, he's had moments of levity based on, because of his ignorance of interacting with humans. But, these last 2, I can't get into it, man, as much as I used to.
I personally, I like it. I like the fact that they're really playing up the idea that in the MCU, gods are just powerful aliens. And so it's like you said, there's so much of this, him being a man out of his element, and yet he's still human. He's still, even though he's immortal and he's a god, they give him more humanizing, which is the thing about anthropomorphizing deities, that the Greek gods and all of them were these petty, jealous, cruel gods with, because they were humanized, which this takes more of a positive look at humanity and humanizing the gods in a way, which I thought was interesting. It was an interesting look at the way that the story was written. It's very down on the whole idea of gods. I mean, if you read the comics, it's basically like, yeah, gods are all these selfish, power hungry, evil pricks that don't really deserve, but this one really, even Zeus, who I thought was probably, if I understand your complaint, and if I had that complaint, Zeus would probably be the biggest problem I had with the movie.
Okay, so now what did you not like about Zeus?
Just how honestly, if anything, the biggest thing I think was his accent, was Russell Crowe trying to do a Greek accent. That was, I think, it kept, like, every time the man spoke, it like took me out of the scene in a way. And I was like, but at the same time, it was just his personality as Zeus, and just how, like, over the top gluttonous he was, talking about, let's talk about the orgy, we're gonna have blah blah blah. It was just, I thought he did there was a couple of scenes that he did well. I thought they did a good job when he gets down close with Thor and he's like, look, this is bad, but we don't want to cause a panic, right? I mean, it made him make a little bit more sense. But then, yeah, I mean, you disliked him enough that when Thor finally does blow a hole in him with his own thunderbolt, that you don't feel bad for him at all.
Well, I hear you, and I didn't care for how they portrayed Zeus either. I mean, especially if you go back to the comic books, he's nothing like that. But, it fits into the buffoonery of what the franchise has turned into with Thor. I mean, that's the character now.
There was something. So, I mean, I really liked the movie. It was enjoyable. It was fun. It was a little less than I thought it could have been. I really thought they could have added more scenes, more time with him with the Guardians of the Galaxy. It really felt like, the time that he was with the Guardians of the Galaxy was really brief, and he didn't really do anything.
Well, I see, and I kind of disagree. I think, when they were showing the Guardians of the Galaxy, it basically showed that he didn't need them. I mean, they're just like, supporting cast members, and, I guess they got hired to do that job. And then it's like, hey, Thor, we need your help. And he handles the problem all by himself.
Right.
I mean, he destroys
everything all by himself.
So, and I think that's, it's like, hey, we got to part ways. We're basically, just second fiddles to this guy. So I
did like that scene with him with Peter Quill, where he's like gives Peter his own ship. He's like, tell you what, you can have the ship. Go ahead and take it.
Right. Yeah. I would much rather would have, because like you said, Gore is a very serious character. So, and then you couple that with the situation that Jane Foster was in as the mighty Thor.
I thought that was handled really well.
Well, I think it was handled as well as it could be in the film. I mean, again, I don't think they're trying to bring everybody down, with this, how she has cancer and everything. But I just wish that it would have been more of that serious tone than the levity per se. You know, especially if you go back to say like the first Thor, even the second Thor movies or whatever.
Yeah,
you can have that tone and have a good film with moments of hilarity.
Yeah, you could. I was personally glad that they handled it in the way they did, with a little more, they lean towards levity. And the reason being that in the end, you know, if you stayed past the credits and you saw the very end scene, if you live in a universe where you know that when you do die, you're just going to go to another dimension, then it's not that serious. You know, suddenly it takes away from, you know, the you know, the unknown of it, you know, because that's the thing about the MCU now, is that we kind of know what happens to people after they die. They showed it in Moon Knight. They've shown it now in this. You basically go to a different dimension. And it depends on what you believed, or if someone had a claim on you or something like that. But it's all basically, you know, there's no question, you know, about it in the MCU anymore. So yeah, it's like in a world like that they've created, yeah, she's got cancer, but I mean, realistically, all she had to do is go die in battle. And boom, she gets into Valhalla, which is what they did. Which I thought was, honestly, I like that a little bit better than I did the story in the comics. In the comics, they kept her alive, which, you know, that's the kind of thing with comics. Nobody stays dead permanently in comics.
Right.
But I thought this was handled pretty well, you know, with her, you know, actually going through with making the sacrifice, you know, and it resolved everything. You know, she did die, but it resolved her cancer, and it resolved her whole character arc.
Right.
You know.
Well, I mean, you know, it was okay. I like I said, I just wish that it would have been more of a serious note or whatever, more so than the levity.
Yeah.
I appreciated her in the film or whatever, and what she had done. Now, I do think that they can take the Thor in a more serious, you know, direction, because now he's a caregiver, or a guardian for someone. So,
right,
you know, he has
Single dad Thor.
Yeah, he has to be more serious, because now he's responsible for a child. So it would be interesting to see, you know, how that plays out in the future.
I thought it was interesting. Do you know that the girl that played, so the character's name of the girl is Love, and that's why at the end Korg refers to the two of them as Love and Thunder, because that's that her actual name is Love. But that actress, the girl that played him, is Chris Hemsworth's actual daughter.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I thought that was kind of cool. Once you know that, watching that scene of the two of them together was a little bit cooler.
Right. Yeah, that is cool. That is cool.
You know, I saw an interview with him, and he was talking about how cool it was. They actually filmed it in Sydney, in Australia, where he lives. And so he was able to, like, oh, the other thing I thought was cool too, all of the monsters in the movie were designed by the kids of the cast and crew.
Oh, really?
That's how they came up with the designs, is they actually had they went home to their kids and said, here, draw a scariest monster you can think of. And they brought it back to the VX department, and they turned them into the actual monsters.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
So, yeah, I thought that was neat. But he was saying how great it was that, you know, for this film, he was able to, like, literally go pull his kids out of school, take them to the set for a day, you know, have them participate, and then, you know, they just go right back to school, because it's, you know, it's all right there in the same town.
Yeah, I guess that would be cool.
Yeah,
that would be. So we'll see.
So yeah, I mean, I'd give it probably 4.5. I enjoyed it. I thought it was great. Sets up the next, you know, the next phase.
You think it did?
Yeah, well, I mean, Chris Hemsworth got kind of an open deal with Marvel for the number of movies. He's not like Chris Evans, who's like, nope, I'm done. I don't want to do it anymore.
Well, you know, I'll say this: the end credit scenes now are not as they don't give a preview of the future as much as they used to.
Yeah, because it's not as clear of a, we don't know what the main, I mean, it was very clear in the first few phases that it was all building towards Thanos.
Well, right, but I mean, you know, you had that overarching thing, but you know, they'd introduce, you know, maybe a character, or, you know, have a tie-in to a future movie. It's very It's not as much so now.
Yeah, because now they introduced Brett Goldstein as Hercules, which I think is a cool addition.
Right.
But you don't know if he's going to appear in a movie or in a Disney Plus show, or how they're going to work him into it. He could show up in She-Hulk for all you know.
Right. Yep.
Because he legitimately, that's the thing, is his character in the comics is tied to all of them. He was an Avenger. He was, fought the Hulk, fought Thor. He was a lover of She-Hulk.
He was in the Champions.
Yeah. He was a Galactic character for a while. So he could show up in Guardians of the Galaxy just as easily. So, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's interesting to see him. They're building towards something, and
they are. But you don't know. I mean, I've heard Dr. Doom. I've heard Kang the Conqueror. So right now, and if anything, a complaint I would have is that we don't know. They did such a good job in earlier phases or whatever, and now we have no idea what the direction is.
Right. What do you think of? We know that they've shown Kang as being one of the main protagonists of the next phase. So,
but you think about it, we're at least 2-3 movies in, and outside of him being in Loki, we haven't had any kind of mention in any. Doctor Strange and in the Multiverse of Madness, we haven't seen him in Spider-Man. We haven't seen any mention.
Actually, my wife mentioned after we saw the movie that she was disappointed that we didn't see any reference to Shang-Chi or the Eternals.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. I mean, we've seen a lot of movies, and you have no idea, who the main the antagonist is. You have no idea.
Right. Yeah.
So
although I will say the other Easter egg I thought was cool was so it bothered me a little bit when they first went to that omnipotent city, which is not in the comic books. Right. No. Like that's not a thing.
No, they should have just made it Olympus.
They really should have. Yeah. I don't understand why they did that. They should have just made it Olympus, but so there's not this place where like all the gods go. And when they did that, it was, they showed the Celestials there in the background. The two Celestials were just like looking in the window.
Right.
And the whole thing. And then later when he's fighting Gore at the entrance to Eternity, one of those statues that lie in the hall there was like the Watcher, the Living Tribunal, and then one of them was a Celestial. And it was that same, what was the Celestial from the Eternals?
I can't remember his name.
Ashram or something like that. But same Eternal or same Celestial.
Listen, man. Most non-comic book readers outside of the Eternals movie, they have no idea what a Celestial is.
Oh yeah.
People outside of comic book readers don't know who the Watcher is. They may have watched What If, the TV series, but they don't know who those characters are. And the films haven't done a good job of really explaining who they are outside of the Eternals movie.
They include them largely as fan service, it's mainly for those people who did.
Outside of the big heroes or whatever, they're going to have to do a better job. Because like I said, I as a fan or whatever, I wasn't impressed by this movie. So it'd be interesting to see what a lot of other people who aren't fans of the comics and who watch this, what they think and how this, compares to other Marvel films. What they think. Yeah. So please, if you have some thoughts, leave comments, etc. Let us know.
It. So who do you agree with? Did you not like it? Do you agree with Anthony, or did you enjoy it? You agree with me? Leave a comment. Let us know. So the other show that just came out, Stranger Things season 4.
Yep. Yeah. Volume 2 just got released. Last week or the week before?
July 1st. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what'd you think of that?
Honestly, I didn't think they needed to release it in 2 volumes. I didn't really understand that.
Yeah.
I thought it was okay. I mean, I'll give it 2.5 out of 5, 3 stars, maybe. You know, I didn't like the fact, like, there's been a lot of complaints about them not really you know, treating the core characters like, you know, they're not gonna die. And I mean, even though Max, she did, you know, get somewhat
spoiler
hurt
alerts
by
again,
Vecna, and she appears to be brain dead.
Right.
What I think is that later on that they're somehow 11's going to be able to get her functioning again. And so to me, that lessens the impact, the emotional impact of what happened at the end of that last season.
Yeah, although it was a little bit predicted that the way that they would resolve Eddie Munson's character arc, he would die.
Yeah,
they put him in an impossible
honestly,
position.
he was the best thing in this season.
He really was. And honestly, they had put his character in this impossible position where if he had survived, and gone back to society, everyone thought he was a murderer. So he's probably going to spend the rest of his life in prison anyway. So why not go out in a blaze of glory?
Yeah.
But yeah, they I don't know. I liked it. I thought that was probably, that one scene was probably the most metal scene on television ever. When he's trying to distract.
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome. I'll give it to him.
Yeah. I agree. I didn't like the way that they released it because I thought they kind of messed up the pacing. Right. Like I got used to the pacing of the first half of the season, watching it one episode, one basically hour-long episode at a time. And then boom, it's like an hour and a half and then 2.5 hours.
Right.
And it just, it was really difficult to get through, actually. Yeah. We watched it in pieces because we kept like stopping and coming back to it.
Right. Yeah. I didn't understand it, why they did that. I don't know if it was the build up anticipation or whatever, but I mean, it'd be one thing if they said they released the first half, like 3-4 months ago, and then they released these, so many months later. But right. I mean, would it be in a matter of maybe a few weeks to a maybe a month? Right. I didn't understand that. It's to me, I didn't see what the reasoning was behind that.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't get that either. I thought it kind of messed with the pacing.
Right. And it's interesting to see, how, because these characters have grown up, in front of us. Yeah. I don't know originally how old they were when they first appeared on the show. And it's only been 4 seasons, but it hasn't been strictly a year between each season. Right. So, I mean, they are.
Some of them have grown.
Young adults.
I thought it was interesting. Some of them have really grown, like very obviously since the beginning of the show. Some of them really have baby faces and really have, like the kid who plays Dustin. There's a couple of scenes in the show where I swear the kid hasn't aged at all from the first season. He just looks so young. But then there's scenes with Max. Where it's like they show Max this season and it's like she's all grown up. It's like compared to the way she looked when she was a little girl when it first started. Now she looks like a young woman.
Right.
But it was and then what's the girl plays the sister?
Nancy.
She doesn't look like she's changed at all since the first season.
Right.
Yeah, or her or Steve.
Yep.
Yeah, neither of them have changed at all.
Yeah.
But
listen, I think I think outside of everybody else, like Steve, I really do like the way that his character has grown from the first season to now.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. He's his character. He's going from like the bully villain to actually like I agree. I thought, I was convinced going into the last episode that Steve was not going to make it.
Yeah.
Because I thought that would have been like the resolution to his arc. It could have been a cool resolution to his arc, but in another way, I'm glad that they didn't.
Yeah. And what's Nancy's boyfriend's name?
Oh, the brother.
Yeah.
Dang.
Because I don't like how his character, what's going on with his character. Now he's a pothead and he's not going to college.
Right.
It's almost like he has no ambition whatsoever.
Right. Like his world's kind of falling apart. It's like he's on the opposite character arc as Steve. Like whereas Steve's growing as a person, the other guy's not. He's actually evolving as a person.
Yep.
But I will say my second favorite character of the season had to have been his the pizza delivery friend.
Oh, really?
Oh, that guy was I thought he was great.
Oh my God.
I love that. He was great, the stoner friend, but he had a plan, and I thought it was great. Like he's like, yeah, man, I know where we're gonna go. He like looks at her, he's like, yeah, that can fit. And I thought it was great. He was my second favorite character after.
Oh, okay. Well, actually, my I guess another favorite that I have is Lucas's sister.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. Actually, that's the other thing. For being a horror show and having these super creepy monsters and villains, they're the characters that filled me with the most dread when they were actually on screen were that the high school jock, I can't remember his character's name, but he and his friends who were like hunting for Eddie.
Yeah.
They actually filled me with more dread when they showed up than Vecna,
Well, honestly, if you think about it, the mob mentality, hey, Eddie's the killer, and just the way that they went about, trying to get revenge or whatever. And I mean, like Erica is Lucas's sister's name. So like when she's outside and on the playground and she's signaling with the flashlight, and then they come up on her. Yeah. And I mean, this is a big jock, and I don't know what the relative ages are, but I mean, he's tackling her, putting her arm behind her back, and like basically, I'm gonna break your arm.
It's funny because it's like that's going on, right? And I'm more worried about her and what's going on there than these other kids who are in like a nightmare dimension. I'm more worried about, because you're right.
Yeah, like they got me upset, man, because I'm like, dude, you're gonna break a little girl's arm like that? Like, seriously?
Right. Yeah. I thought she was a great character too. The two of them. Lucas and his sister. I thought they both had interesting arcs for the season.
Yeah.
That Lucas had to go through that, He even has he and his sister at the same time have their moment where they shine. Mm-hmm. But his thing was nobody was there.
Yeah.
To see it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So one of my favorite parts or whatever was when they were playing D&D, and the sister was like, okay, like it's your turn to roll a dice to hit or whatever. It's like, you gotta roll a 20.
Yeah. And they built the tension up. I thought that was well done, the way they built the tension of that scene up along with the basketball game at the same time.
Yeah. I did. I really did like that part of it. So, but overall, I mean, it's getting to be a little bit predictable in some aspects. And it's
the whole thing's, I do like the way that they flesh the story out a little bit. Know a little bit more about what caused the gate, and who it was. Really going back, actually, if you go back and rewatch the first season, because my kids wanted to start watching the first season, I'm pretty sure the person who kidnaps Will in the first season in the first place was Vecna, because they show him and it looks like Vecna from season 4. So that I think that it's kind of tying up a lot of the loose ends from the earlier seasons.
Well, I mean, we'll see. I mean, they have everybody back in the same locale, I guess now,
right?
Which it really didn't. What I would have liked is for 11 to at least go back and showed up that one girl that was bullying her. Now that she had her powers back.
I don't know. I that feels like it would have been a little bit small of her if she did that. I mean,
oh, come on, man. No,
honestly, what I wanted to see 11 do was go confront that army guy who was trying to kill her.
Oh, see now, okay, come on, man. What would she have done to the army guy?
His head exploded.
Yeah, and see, here we go. I'm talking about just a little bit of comeuppance for a bully, and you talking about murder.
I mean, all the girl did was like make her feel bad. Oh, well, wait a minute. She already got back at the girl. She nailed the girl in the face with a skate, remember?
Yeah, man. But hey, listen, she got punished for that. If she would have been able to use her powers.
I think if anything, she actually felt bad for what she did to that girl afterwards.
Yeah, but that's what, see, I'm sorry. That wasn't the comeuppance that I wanted to see.
I mean, it's kind of part of her arc, though, is that, she worried that she was a monster because of the way that she reacted to that bully. Even without powers, she was worried that she was the one who was the monster, which is the whole reason she went back and everything to find out. She was worried from what she was seeing, the vision she was having, that she was the one who killed all those kids.
Right.
Which is, what they insinuate in the beginning.
Right.
Which, so I'm not sure what she would have done when she went back. I mean, that would have been worse than having
some chocolate on her like she threw on her.
Just like an after credit scene where she just shows up at the end, like walks up to the girl and go, hey,
no. See, no. What I would have done before they moved back to what's the town that they're in?
Hawkins.
Yeah, Hawkins or whatever. Hey, they got to go and pack up their things. So right, they go back to town and she uses her powers without anyone knowing that is her.
I'm not sure what you mean.
No, so like, the girl's drinking a chocolate milkshake. She uses her powers, like, makes her so she's embarrassed and people are laughing at her, but nobody knows it's 11.
She does a Sam Raimi. She does what Doctor Strange did to what's his face with the
I mean, something like it's like everybody's looking at her like, hey, you're
crazy,
the freak, right? But again, that's just something that I would have had shown.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe next season.
Well, I don't think they're gonna go back to that, but
I mean, can they even go back?
What they do.
That's honestly one of those things that they really didn't. So at the end of the whole thing, they're still part of the government that wants to kill her.
Oh yeah. I mean, Hawkins is if you think about how crazy that town is and everything that's happened, and especially like this earthquake, and now you got possible open gates everywhere.
And so the whole town is an open gate to hell now.
Dude, listen.
I will say that was pretty satisfying, the way that they just glossed over that. I can't remember the bully's name, the guy who was the jock who he was beating up Lucas.
Yeah.
But when the gate opens, he just melts.
Yeah. Well, I mean, come on, man. The way he was just going about his business, I mean, it was very psychopathic. Like, I mean, it was just like, so singly focused on revenge. He didn't care who he hurt, who he had to take out, or anything.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't have been good. But I liked when they're driving back into town and they see like all these cars just heading out of town.
Oh yeah. Everybody else is leaving and they're the only ones driving into town.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
It's like, I hope we're not staying here. We're just going to pick up everybody and then we're leaving.
I don't know. It'd be the next. Although I did hear that the next season might not be for a couple of years. So
really?
Yeah. Who knows when we'll get season 5? That's the thing with these, is that sometimes these shows come out so far in between seasons that I forgot what happened in the previous shows.
Dude, these kids are 18 now, man. If you wait till like 5 years, I mean, they're gonna be like in their early 20s now, man.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's something. We'll see.
She's not 11 anymore. Now she's 21.
Well, I think she's 18 now too. So let's see. When how old was she when it first came out? So it came out in 2016. Yeah, it's been going for 6 years. Yeah. She was born in 2004, man. So she was 12 when it first came out.
Born in 2004. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, she's 18 now, man. So yeah. We'll see. we'll see. I hope it's not 5 years, man, but you're probably right.
So wait a minute, she was born in 2004.
Yeah, she's 18 now.
Okay. I thought she was older than that.
No, she just turned 18 in I think February.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. Wow.
Yeah.
Started Godzilla. This. Great career.
Oh yeah, she's been in a lot of things. In a lot of things.
All right. Well, we are just about out of time. So you gave Stranger Things.
I'll give it a 3. I'll give it a 3. Yeah.
I think I'll give it probably a 4.5 again. I enjoyed it. I thought it was great. Real quick before we go, one other watching recommendation. I don't know if you've seen it, but another show on Netflix called God's Favorite Idiot.
I haven't seen that.
No.
Isn't that with Melissa McCarthy?
It is. It's actually Melissa McCarthy and her real life husband who wrote it and star in it together.
Okay.
So yeah, it was pretty funny. I enjoyed it.
Okay. Well, I enjoyed the Terminal List on Amazon.
Terminal List. Okay.
Yeah, with Chris Pratt. I'm actually reading the book now as well. I enjoyed the show, and someone said the book was a lot better, which it typically is. So I just started that.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'll look into that.
Yep.
All right. So till next time.
Yep. Intellicide.
Intellicide out.
Yep.